So when we come back, we're going to walk north until we are exactly lined up with the East Gate, the Golden Gate, the Gate of Mercy. And let's see what we see. All right, well, welcome to part 3, and we are going to walk north on the top ridge of the Mount of Olives. We're going to follow this road right here. Now, last time I got waylaid because I told you the tragic story behind that house with the flag on it. But this time we're going to walk right past that and continue on until we can line up directly with the Golden Gate. And that looks like this. So here we are lined up pretty much just about as close as I could get a view. And as you see, behind the Golden Gate is not the Dome of the Rock. There's a large open area, people walking around, and there's a little gray building there. You see it on the far side of the courtyard in front of the 4 arches. That's called the Dome of the Spirits. And if you look the other direction, you look at the spire from the Church of the Ascension, and you turn around and look at the Golden Gate again, and you find that you are exactly on a line. So here we go again. We're looking at this same clip again, and on a line from those two places is the Dome of the Spirits. The Dome of the Spirits is shrouded in mystery. No one really knows what it is. It's amazing in that it is so accessible. We're going to be talking about the Dome of the Spirits when we interview and look deeply at the story of the First Temple and speculate about the location of the Ark of the Covenant. We will come back to this. So the point is this. Imagine if that Golden Gate was built not just 1,500 years ago, not just 2,000 years ago, but was somehow aligned all the way back to the time of the First Temple. If that gate is that old, then it would be interesting that it is lined up not at where the Second Temple was built. There is much speculation about this Dome of the Spirits. Could it potentially be the location of the Holy of Holies of the First Temple? It is certainly lined up with the Church of the Ascension. Let's go back and look at that again. See the spire of the Church of the Ascension? We're going to pan around to the other side, and you will see that we are exactly lined up between the Dome of the Spirits and the Golden Gate. We're sitting right on that line. So this positioning is lined up to the very top of the Mount of Olives. Let's look at some other features. We see here the large overview of the Lion's Gate. We've got the Golden Gate on the left. The next major gate to the north is the Lion's Gate. You can see there's a road heading up to that. Let's move to a close-up here. You can see that there's a nice road that heads up to the Lion's Gate. You can actually drive in through that gate today. It goes in through the Arab Quarter. And this was the gate where the paratroopers entered in '67 in order to capture the Temple Mount and the Western Wall. That famous phrase, "the Temple Mount is in our hands," came from the conquest through that Lion's Gate. When you go up there, you can see some bullet holes in the wall. Let us look at some other features. The first item to the right there is the Dominus Flevit Church, which is a Catholic church built in 1953. What's interesting about that church is that as you walk up to it, there are some caves on the right that show you what it looked like, how people were buried before the modern day cemeteries. And you could see how you could have put the bones of your grandfather back into the cave there, and then added the bones of his son, and then added the bones of his son, which brings to mind that expression that Jacob was gathered to his fathers. So it's a very physical gathering that takes place. The next church down the slope is the Russian Orthodox Church. It was built in 1886 and consecrated in 1888. This would be after the first wave of Russian immigrants came into what is now Israel. It started in 1878, so 10 years earlier. But the Russian Orthodox do have a place here in the Holy City. And just below the Russian Orthodox Church is the Gethsemane. There is a church there, and this dates all the way back to 400 A.D. With Helena and the mother of Constantine, and so that is a really ancient structure. It does have beautiful olive trees. It's a very common visiting site, and it's a very peaceful garden, and definitely recommend going there. And when we return to our final segment on the Mount of Olives, we're going to look at the south side of the Temple Mount and look at some of the history and some of the amazing sights that can be seen from this wonderful location. The best view in the city, one of the most famous views in the entire world. So until next time, Shalom.